this week after being dropped from the Tynecastle first team. Today, manager Sandy Clark dismissed suggestions he'd be leaving the club for Tannadice. Clark told us it's nonsense, there's no way I'd let John go, and particularly to a lesser club than Hearts, and that's what I consider Dundee United. Robertson himself is determined to work his way back into the first team, despite the challenge posed by Tynecastle's rising young stars. Hearts' record signing.
There's a deflection, it's in! Robertson!
Tynecastle's record scorer.
Deadly finishing once again from Robertson.
His name is synonymous with the club, but John Robertson has been dropped.
It's hurting. It's really disappointing to lose really a place for the first time in about 10 years, but any player who gets dropped, I'm telling you, they're liars if they say it doesn't hurt, and it hurts the pride, hurts the heart, having to sit and watch games, and games that you think you could be playing in and doing a job. It's annoying as well for me because I got off to a reasonable start, 3 goals in 5 games, but at the end of the day my performances weren't matching up to the goals, and Sandy Clark told me that.
3 years ago this week, Robbo helped Scotland defeat the Swiss, but he knows that reserve team football with Hearts cost him his squad place at Pittodrie on Wednesday night.
Yeah, again, it's annoying because you want to be involved. I want to be involved in the Scotland setup. But as I say, Andy Rox was good enough to phone me and told me that if I got my place back, kept scoring goals, that there was every chance I could be in the next squad. So, I mean, the incentives are there for John Robertson. It's just a matter of hoping to get back in the team and get on with it again. So there's still a lot of records to be broken, still a lot of goals to be scored, and tend to score them.
These are the young men who are muscling in on the top team stars and beginning to boot 1 or 2 of them into temporary touch. Alan Johnston, Gary Locke and Kevin Thomas have been knocking on the first team door. Now they're kicking it in and loving every minute.
We always get slagged and a bit of abuse at training, but it's worth it.
You enjoying it, Kevin?
Oh, it's brilliant, especially as it's Robbo. It was a shock that he was the person to be dropped because, as most folk, you know, John Robertson is Hearts. You know, everybody, if you relate Hearts, you relate to John Robertson. And to find he's not theirs.
A big responsibility
on you. For me on that day and the rest of us when we're playing, to do better than John does. And it's hard.
He is trying very hard to get back in though, you've got to be careful.
Oh aye, yes, in training and that. We always like, in training we have like wee bets, wee side bets with each other for like making cups of tea when we get back and that, so just like to remind him that he's due me a Snicker bar, eh?
You've got to rate them very highly. I mean, you'll have to look at the progress that Kevin Thomas has made in a year. He came on last year, he looks the part, he's a big strong lad, he's very, very quick, he's got a terrific eye for goal. Alan Johnston's slightly different, he's more deep lying, can play up front or off the front too, can play in midfield, and he hasn't earned the nickname Magic for nothing. The third of the 3 who's making the headlines very, very quietly but very, very effectively is Gary Locke. I mean, he is a terrific player. I mean, those are just 3. I mean, there's other guys that are coming right up behind them who have every chance of playing in the first team before the season's out as well.
A glowing report card, are you sure you should be talking them up?
Well, they're doing it for themselves. I mean, it's there for all to see.
Just part of a talented tier of youngsters which cleaned up in the Reserve League and the BP Youth Cup last term, they and former second team coach Sandy Clark have come up through the ranks together.
It makes it easier because we're used to him now, and it just encourages us all.
He's really honest. If you do something wrong, you'll be the first to shout at you. And I think we've passed now. We don't get in a huff anymore because we're that used to Sandy telling us that we're playing rubbish. Normally that means we're playing quite well if he says we're rubbish.
And if the boss believes they're playing badly enough, they'll be promoted even further into European action next week against Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Cup.
I don't have any fear about that at all. What I will do, as I always do, is play what I think is the strongest team and the right team at the time. And if I think the 3 lads are in it, should be in it, then they'll be in it. It's as simple as that.
What about Atletico Madrid? Difficult proposition, particularly in your first European tie.
That's an understatement. I think I seen them playing last weekend and they were exceptionally good. They're very well organised. It'll be difficult. There's no question about that. But in saying that, we've got a wee bit of character.